How's it going, Calgary? GM Johnny Superb Man here, and it's time we start up our NHL 26 GM mode commentary with the Calgary Flames, a storied franchise with only one Stanley Cup to their name, and they won it all the way back in 1989, and that team had some nice players on it. Alan McInnes, Joe Nieuwendyk, Doug Gilmour, Theo Fleury, Joe Mullen, and the legend, Lanny McDonald. But 1989 might as well be 100 years ago at this point. They last made the Stanley Cup Finals in 2004, led by the captain, Jarome Iginla, and I remember this cup run, just like all the other Canadian teams going on their cup run, right? When they get there, they end up losing, and the Flames, they haven't had any kind of championship success since that point. Now, Calgary, they're a weird team, man. In the 2010s, they go from making the playoffs to missing the playoffs, making it twice, missing the playoffs. They're off and on, off and on. They've missed 3 playoffs in a row, and now they're the worst team in the NHL in real life, more than likely going to miss their 4th straight year, and that's where I come in. Calgary, it has been far too long since the Flames were able to excite their fan base with a chance at the cup, and my plan, same as it's always been, to build a dynasty. A team that can win year to year with an elite roster and call themselves a true contender in the NHL. So let's go, let's get this started. First up, the boring stuff. We're going to be using the default settings for our franchise mode, except for difficulty, which we're scaling up to superstar, period length, which we're scaling up to 20 minutes, injuries are going to be on, but I've lowered the injury slider down to 25, and owner mode and morale are both off. Now, I was reading your comments, and you guys were saying it's too easy to hire coaches with owner mode off, so I took a look at the Calgary Flames coaching budget, $7.4 million. I'm never allowed to exceed $7.4 million as long as I'm the general manager of the Calgary Flames, and the same goes for the scouting budget, $2.9 million. So we're going to have those new rules on board, and when it comes to the rosters, EA Sports' default rosters don't actually have the potential first overall pick, Gavin McKenna, so the rosters that we're going to use are coming from Vasi roster updates, Tactics HD, and Tugi24. Check these guys out on YouTube. They did a great job with the rosters. I know from firsthand experience how long this crap takes, so thank you very much to you three. We got Gavin McKenna in this universe.
Mastery from Gavin McKenna!
So it's official, my very first day on the job as the general manager of the Calgary Flames. We are here live with you guys, and it's episode number 1. Now, for anyone who's new to these GM modes, right, this is an interactive series with the fans. I always love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section and during our live streams. Now, episode 1, I'm going to do on my own because we've got to lay the foundation. I want to scout this team. We got to come up with a plan going forward, and it all starts with the lineup screen, right? What do the Calgary Flames look like? No, head coach can help. No, I got this. I'm GM Superb Man. I am ready to go. So, Jonathan Huberdeau, 32 years of age, only 86 overall. A playmaker. You take a look at a bunch of his stats. All right. I mean, these guys are cooked, man. If they go on a good run in the NHL, he actually might get his medium elite back. Go jump up to 88, 89. The guy is exact top 6, 86 overall at 32 years of age. I mean, he could turn into a top 9 in 2-3 years. It's going to be hard to build around him. The Dream, Nazem Kadri, 34 years of age. Oh my God, he's 87, a two-way forward, and we just did our experiment when I simulated the seasons 10 times in a row. This guy shoots the puck, right? So maybe Huberdeau and Kadri can actually work well with one another. Matt Coronado, when was this guy drafted? 13th overall in 2021, a sniper with not a great shooting category and just mid to high 80s, but he is 22 years of age, and what's his potential? High top 6. All right, so a two-way forward who shoots, a sniper. We're going to have to figure out if this guy does shoot. With Jonathan Huberdeau, chances are you want to put 2 goal scorers alongside of him to try to build up his skill, try to build up his overall, right? Second line, you got Blake Coleman, 33 years of age, two-way forward. Oh, man, the whole team looks like this. Igor Sharangovich, oh my God, where's this guy from? Belarus? He has got a contract, 83 overall, 27 years of age, drafted in the 5th round, a sniper. See, all these players, like, they just got to mid to, like, high 80s. I don't see anyone in the 90s. Connor Zary, drafted 24th overall in 2020, another two-way forward, good defensive awareness, good offensive awareness. Man, it seems like they got a lot of passers on this team. Joel Farabee, the former Philadelphia Flyer, another first-rounder. This team is filled with first-rounders that they didn't draft, right? Huberdeau, Kadri, Farabee, they just acquire pieces that other teams give up on, I guess. Michael Backlund, here we go, our captain, 36 years of age. I might as well show the respect. This guy has been here his entire career, and I think he just signed an extension as well, right? So, I know, Flame fans want to see Michael Backlund retire as a Calgary Flame. We'll see if we can do it. Martin Pospisil, he guy's got 2 X Factors at 80 overall, 25 years of age, 4th rounder, power forward. Holy shit, look at that body checking. Oh my god, body checking 93, aggressiveness 95. That guy might be interesting. Morgan Frost is down here on the 4th line. Look at this, another first rounder from the Philadelphia Flyers, playmaker. Oh my god. Adam Klapka, 6'8", Jesus, power forward. All right, so they got some big boys over here, and Samuel Honzig. I remember this guy from previous GM modes. He's got to get good, right? A power forward, 6'4", medium top 6. When was this guy drafted? First round. They have so many first rounders on this team, man. It is crazy. And what about scratch players? They got Ryan Lomberg, Braden Pachel, or how do you pronounce that? Pascal? Pahel? Oh my god, I remember I knew how to say it, now I forget. And Joel Hanley. So, forward core, not very impressed. We're going to compare this to a true Stanley Cup contender. Defensively, Rasmus Andersson. He was a legend for our Philadelphia Flyer GM mode. And Mackenzie Weegar. Let me take a look at Mackenzie Weegar's stats. There you go. Finally, you're looking like an actual elite player on this team, right? Mackenzie's probably our best guy. And Rasmus Andersson, they can both block shots, good defensive awareness, more of like a stay-at-home two-way defender. His offensive stats aren't great. And then, oh my god, Kevin Ball, 6'6", 230. They got a big team. They got a physical team. Miromanov, 6'4", 207. Oh my god. Zane Parekh, here we go. Finally, some young talent. A two-way, no, an offensive defenseman, offensive awareness down there. This guy was drafted 9th overall last year, not in the Schaefer draft, in the Macklin Celebrini draft. He's a rookie this season. We'll see if we can develop him, but I might want to trade him away. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And Jake Bean, isn't he from Calgary? Oh my god, it is not looking good. And in the net, all right, a saving grace. Dustin Wolf, 24 years of age, high elite potential. Now, we've got to make sure that we play this guy so that he rounds into form. I'd hate for that potential to lock in and turn into a medium starter, right? 4.5-star reflexes, puck control is 5-star. All right, so we're not going to have to worry about goaltending this entire GM mode. This guy could give you 10 years, right? So we'll definitely try to be a good defensive team, and I want to be a good team right away because holy crap, this guy, you don't want to just go through losing seasons and have that potential waste away. But like I said, if you want to compare our team to a Stanley Cup contender and no better team to compare against than the Florida Panthers, we just don't have this, right? Huberdeau and Kadri, 86, 87. Kachuk, 93. Barkov, 94. Reinhart, 91. How are you going to compete come the real-time simulation of the playoffs against these guys, right? Defensively, Forsling and Seth Jones, and even though they're not up there in the 90 overall range, they still got those X factors and oh my god, Sergei Bobrovsky. What about a team in the West, right? A team that we'd be facing in the playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers, like, we don't have a 97 overall. We don't have a 95 overall. And this team is top heavy. They don't have that depth, right? But that's the driving force for the game, for the simulation. They also have Evan Bouchard, so their power play is just going to be unbelievable, right? We don't have that. And so when you take a look at your Calgary Flames, is this a team that I have any chance of turning into a Stanley Cup winner in years 1, 2, or 3? And by that time, if you don't, all of a sudden Huberdeau's 35, Kadri's 37, right? Like, you know what this team looks like to me on paper? It's like a team that won the Stanley Cup 2, 3 years ago and is just holding on to all the players because management loves them, the fans love them, and they're just riding off into the sunset. It's like all these guys were drafted by Calgary, they got the Stanley Cup, and they're just going home with it. But that's not the case. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs 3 years in a row. How am I going to build around these older players? I don't know. GM Superb, man, we've got to make our freaking move. So, you saw the lineups, right? Let's take a look at the contracts now, and let's see what kind of situation we're in. So, Dustin Wolf, he's actually already extended. Look at this, $7.5 million for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my God. So Dustin Wolf is locked up 7 years, $7.5 million. We have him for this year, so that's 8 years you got him. That'll take him up to 32. We're good for Devin Wolf. All right, Devin Wolf, Dustin Wolf. What's his freaking name? Dustin Wolf. What did I say Devin Wolf for? What the hell, man? Defensively, Mackenzie Weegar, a big old fat no trade clause. And how many years? 6.2 is really low for an 89 overall defenseman, especially with the cap going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. We also have Kevin Ball at 6 years at 5.3. So it seems like there's a window opening up here, right? Calgary likes their older players, but Rasmus Andersson, his contract is up this year, and look at that. He doesn't want an extension. You damn traitor! He didn't want to play here, Calgary. How much of a contract offer do I need to give him? Oh my God, look at the organization interest. It's all the way down there. I'd have to really overpay this guy if I wanted to go 6 years to match. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So there's the first question. This GM mode is interactive. What do we do with Rasmus Andersson, right? He does not want to extend. Blue line looking weak, man. Blue line looking weak. And then the forward core, let me see. Nazem Kadri. Kadri's got another 4 years left on this team. Huberdeau's got another 6 years. So Huberdeau and Weegar are the same. 6 years. It's a 6-year window, essentially. Blake Coleman's got 2 years. Maybe trade bait, right? Matt Coronado. I was going to say Michael. No, it's Matt Coronado. Oh my God. I've got to get these names down. 6.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 years for Coronado. So the younger guys, Wolf and Coronado, 7 years. The guys, the veterans in their prime, they got 6 years left. Michael Backlund has been extended another 2 years, 3.25, so he's not going anywhere. Morgan Frost, 2 years left. Trade bait? I don't know. Igor Sharangovich has been locked up. Connor Zeri's got a few years left. Farabee, Pospisil. So you guys get what I'm looking at, right? This team all over the place. And in the system, because we're using the new rosters, we should have a bunch of guys that normally are not in the game, right? Because they're in the college system. But there you go, right? So low elite Muse, Gridden, medium top 6, 19 years of age, 76 overall. Hell yeah. Reshny, this guy was their first rounder this year, wasn't it? Or was it last year? No, last year was Zane you know what? I can't remember. I think it was this year. Reshny, 18 years of age, 75 overall. So there's a boatload of young prospects that we have on this team now, which is really great because we're using these rosters, right? Okay, very good. Now, when you bring up the proposed trade screen, it's another way of looking at all your players and your team. We got $11.4 million of cap space, and when it comes to the trade value, yeah, look at that. The highest trade value on our team is Rasmus Andersson. I cannot let him walk for anything. If I were to get like Rasmus Andersson in the like a buying team, the Carolina Hurricanes, for example, right? With that trade value, I think I could get back probably 2 firsts for it. I'm not even lying to you guys. We could make that work. Now, we put our own rules on the trades, but bringing in some first rounders because this year's draft, Gavin McKenna, next year's draft, Landon DuPont, Calgary's own, right? I think we got to figure out what we're going to do with Rasmus Andersson right there. Let's take a look at the rest of the team. When it comes to trade value. In fact, if I just sort by overall, right? Anderson's got 1 year left. Everyone else has got term. Backlund's been extended. So I'd want to trade the guys with 1 year left. It's really only Rasmus Andersson. Rasmus Andersson is the only guy whose contract is going to be up this year. So I think, you know, we could probably just see what happens, right? And when it comes to the draft picks, we have our first rounder. We have the Vegas Golden Knights first rounder. Please, Vegas, miss the playoffs. Please, Mitch, do me a favor, man. And next year, we have our first rounder as well. So our draft pick situation looking really good, okay? So that's that. Let's take a look at our coaching situation. So with the new rule, I'm not allowed to go above 7.4. We got, is it Ryan? Ryan Huska is the head coach of the Calgary Flames. He's an A-, 1 year left. So I'm going to have to either extend him or get a brand new head coach for next season. But you know what? He's actually pretty good across the board. We want to get the teaching stats up there. So Howe can stay, Rissmiller can stay. We want to build up the AHL, but I think for year one, we'll take it easy. We'll see what our team does. I don't need to just come in and start firing on all cylinders. You know, we can see what this team is all about. And the scouts, I got 0.5, I got $500,000. Are we doing surgical scouting this year? Is that allowed? Do I want to send my NHL and AHL scouts to the OHL, to Europe, to try to figure out some young prospects, right? There's so many different things that we need to do, and this is where you guys have really got to chime in, right? I'm going to be reading that comment section because we only advance during live streams, and during a live stream, the chat can definitely chime in, and we got our YouTube scouts, our Kick scouts, and our Twitch scouts, but here in the YouTube video as well, go nuts in the comment section. So, I want to just go over what my plan is in year number one. We are going to let these guys, the way I see it, we're going to let these guys play. We'll get a month or 2 months in because I got to see the advanced analytics. A guy like Matt Coronado, does he shoot the puck or is he more of a playmaker sniper? Same thing with Connor Zary. I need information. So we need to get a sample size, an experiment going forward. We're going to be trading away Rasmus Andersson. He does not want to extend here unless we're the freaking best team in the NHL. We're in the playoff hunt. But you know what, guys? I'm thinking about this. Even if we were in a playoff hunt, what if I hold on to him, we get kicked out in the first or second round, and then he walks? That is so much trade value. That is so much trade value. I want that trade value because there's a player in the back of my mind that I would love to trade for. I don't know if I can do it, but from the Utah Mammoth, ladies and gentlemen, sort by medium elite, there he is, son of Jerome, Tij Aginla, drafted 6th overall in 2024. We need him. We need him. That is what I want. And this year, I think Joe Aginla is going in the NHL entry draft, right? So we can get him. If we were to do a mock draft right now or a mock trade, Joe Aginla, hey, what about Rasmus Andersson, right? They want him. He's willing to go there. If they're a good team, a defenseman for that team, because you know what, they got so many medium elite forwards here in Utah. They got Peterka, who they just acquired from Buffalo, Dylan Gunther, Desnoyers. Who the heck is this guy? Was he just drafted 4th overall? How do you pronounce that name? Desnoyers? Oh my god. Logan Cooley, Clayton Keller. And when it comes to their blue line, I think they only have, they don't have any medium elite. So I mean, it could be Rasmus Andersson, but it could also be Zane Perrick, right? Just a straight up freaking prospect. He was drafted, Tij, 6th overall in 2024, and Zane was drafted 9th overall, so they're not too far apart. Maybe I gotta add in a second rounder, but I got my eyes on Tij Aginla, ladies and gentlemen. I want him. And of course, the draft class, there he is, Gavin McKenna from the Medicine Hat Tigers. So we'll get our scouting in there. What about, hang on. I think he's gotta be in here. He's gotta be like a second rounder or a third rounder. Hopefully I don't miss the name. Let me just go down the list. There he is. Yes, Joe Aginla going 66th overall. So I think my plan for year one, let the team simulate. Let's see what we have. Let's see if we can build up some value in our players, right? Trade the guys away that we know we don't want a future with. Acquire Tij Aginla from the Utah Mammoth and Joe Aginla in the NHL entry draft. If we get the 1st overall pick, Gavin McKenna, and then next year the 1st overall pick, Landon DuPont, Calgary's own, that would be a pretty nice start. And also I got my eyes on free agents, right? Or anyone that I could trade for, and I was really looking at players that were born and raised in Calgary. Braden Point from the Tampa Bay Lightning, that'd be great if we could acquire him. Cale Makar from the Colorado Avalanche, that would solve all of our problems. Josh Morrissey from the Winnipeg Jets. Jake Neighbors from the St. Louis Blues might be a little bit easier of a asset to acquire. And then of course Dylan Holloway, I think he's there with St. Louis as well, right? So I got my list of Calgary Flame players, and we also just have to end on Letton. Where is he? Michael Backlund's retire as a member of the Calgary Flames. So there it is, Calgary. I have just defined what my year one plan will be, but the great thing about our GM modes, it's interactive. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Go nuts in the comment section. And I'll also say this, our first episode where we actually get some simulating is going to be on Monday, episode 2 at 4 p.m. And we are going to live stream that sucker. So make sure you turn on all notifications. You don't want to miss it out going forward, man. The Calgary Flames, the dynasty begins today. Calgary, we can do this. Come on. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed episode number 1. And if you did, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. It really helps me out. Episode 2 is going to be out this Monday, 4 p.m., and we are going to be live streaming YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you then.